The dust storms on Mars had finally settled after 3 weeks of relentless chaos, allowing Dr. Sarah Chen to resume her excavation of what she had initially believed to be just another failed early settlement attempt. The site dated back to 2047, during humanity's first wave of Martian colonization, or so everyone had thought. Dr. Chen, Marcus's voice crackled through her helmet comm. "You need to see this immediately." His tone carried an urgency she'd never heard from her usually composed research assistant. Sarah made her way through the winding tunnels of the dig site, her boots leaving fresh tracks in the rusty soil. The illuminated panels they'd installed cast long shadows against walls that seemed too smooth, too precisely carved to be the work of desperate early colonists. She found Marcus standing before a section of wall that had collapsed during the storms. Behind it lay a chamber that defied everything they thought they knew about human history on Mars. The room hummed with a faint energy, its walls covered in flowing scripts that definitely weren't human in origin. In the center stood a pillar of dark metal that seemed to drink in their headlamp's light. "How long has this been active?" Sarah asked, her scientific mind already racing through possibilities. "That's just it," Marcus replied, checking his instruments. "According to these readings, it's been running continuously for over 10,000 years. Sarah approached the pillar carefully, her hand outstretched. The surface responded to her proximity, illuminating with patterns of soft blue light that tracked her movement. "This changes everything," she whispered. Within hours, the chamber was swarming with researchers and security personnel. The United Earth government had responded with unprecedented speed to their discovery, suggesting to Sarah that perhaps this wasn't entirely unexpected by some. Director James Wong of the Planetary Research Coalition arrived personally the next day, bringing with him a team of specialists whose expertise seemed to extend well beyond conventional archaeology. Among them was Dr. Kira Patel, a quantum physicist whose papers on theoretical xenotechnology had been largely dismissed by the scientific community. "It's a beacon," Kira explained, her eyes fixed on holographic displays floating above her portable quantum computer, "and it's been waiting for us to reach a specific level of technological development before revealing itself." Sarah watched as Kira's fingers danced through the holographic interface. "Waiting for us? You mean this was intentional?" "More than that," James interjected, his expression grave. "It's part of a system of similar installations across the solar system. We've found others, but this is the first one that's activated." The revelation hit Sarah like a physical blow. "How long have you known about the others?" "That's classified," James replied, but his tone softened. "What matters is that we're ready now. The beacon's activation proves it." The pillar's glow intensified, and the air in the chamber seemed to thicken with potential. Symbols began flowing across its surface faster than the eye could follow. Kira's equipment struggled to keep up with the data stream. "It's a message," Kira announced, her voice tight with excitement. "No, it's an invitation." The message decoded over the next several hours painted a picture that shattered humanity's understanding of its place in the universe. They weren't alone, had never been alone. The Nexus, an alliance of species facing an existential threat, had seeded Earth with hidden outposts and subtle genetic markers eons ago. Humanity had been chosen, carefully guided through their evolution, to become something more. The genetic potential locked within human DNA was no accident. It was a carefully crafted weapon against an enemy that threatened to consume all life in the galaxy. The Void Swarm, as the message named them, had already destroyed countless civilizations. The Nexus had searched for species with the potential to fight back, to adapt and overcome in ways their own cultures no longer could. They had found that potential in early humans, recognizing a unique combination of adaptability, creativity, and determination. As Sarah processed the implications, new data began streaming from the pillar. The genetic markers hidden in human DNA were beginning to activate, responding to the beacon's signal. Reports flooded in from Earth of people experiencing strange symptoms: enhanced strength, accelerated healing, unprecedented cognitive developments. "We're entering Phase 2, James announced, reading from a secure tablet. "The changes are manifesting globally. Every human being is evolving, becoming what we were designed to be." Sarah felt it herself, a clarity of thought, a strength she'd never known coursing through her body. But with these changes came knowledge, understanding downloaded directly into their enhanced minds. The threat they faced was imminent, and humanity's transformation had come barely in time. "The void swarm has entered the Oort cloud," Kira reported, her enhanced mind processing the beacon's data streams effortlessly now. "We have months, maybe less, before first contact." Sarah stood before the pillar, watching humanity's future unfold in its shifting lights. They had been created as weapons, but they would choose their own path forward. The Nexus had given them the tools, but how they used them would be their choice. "Send word to Earth," she instructed, her voice steady despite the weight of the moment. "Tell them to prepare the Terran Defense Initiative. It's time humanity learned its true purpose in the stars." As the orders went out, Sarah couldn't help but smile at the irony. For centuries, humans had looked to the stars wondering if they were alone, never realizing they had been carefully crafted to be the galaxy's last, best hope for survival. The real question now was, would they prove worthy of the role they had been created to fill? The awakening had begun, and with it, humanity's true history was finally coming to light. The next few months would determine not only Earth's fate, but the survival of all sentient life in the galaxy. The tools of salvation had been placed in human hands. Now they just had to learn how to use them. The Terran Defense Initiative's headquarters, carved deep into the Rocky Mountains, hummed with activity. Admiral Maya Rodriguez stood at the central command station, watching as holographic displays tracked the ongoing transformation of humanity. 3 months had passed since the Mars beacon's activation, and the changes were accelerating beyond anyone's predictions. Latest enhancement statistics, Admiral Lieutenant Chen reported, his newly golden eyes, a common manifestation of the changes, scanning rapidly through data streams. 97% of the global population has completed initial transformation. Physical capabilities have increased by an average of 300%. Cognitive enhancement levels continue to rise exponentially. Maya nodded, her own enhanced mind processing the implications instantly. The changes weren't just physical or mental. They were reshaping human society itself. Old conflicts and divisions were falling away as humanity united under the weight of their new purpose. "Show me the Void Swarm's position," she ordered. The holographic display shifted, revealing a mass of dark energy approaching from the outer solar system. The enemy moved like a living shadow, consuming everything in its path. They had already devoured Pluto's research stations, their first taste of human technology. Dr. Kira Patel entered the command center, her lab coat replaced by the sleek uniform of the TDI Science Division. "The integration protocols are ready," she announced. "The Nexus technology is responding to our enhanced biology exactly as predicted." Maya followed Kira to the testing chamber, where rows of advanced spacecraft stood ready. These weren't the clumsy rockets of old Earth. They were living metal, a fusion of Nexus biotech and human innovation. Each ship was designed to bond with its pilot, becoming an extension of their enhanced consciousness. "Amazing how quickly we've adapted," Maya mused, watching as pilots merged with their vessels in perfect synchronization. 6 months ago, this would have seemed like science fiction. "We were made for this," Kira replied, her fingers dancing through holographic control interfaces. The potential was always there, waiting to be unlocked. "The real question is whether we can master these abilities in time." The answer came sooner than expected. Emergency alerts blared throughout the facility as a quantum communication burst arrived from the Jupiter defense line. The Void Swarm had accelerated, their dark mass splitting into thousands of smaller entities. "They're testing our defenses," Maya realized, rushing back to command. "Launch the first squadron. It's time to see what humanity can really do." Squadron leader James Chen, no relation to the lieutenant, led the first wave of human defenders. His consciousness expanded as he merged with his ship, feeling the cold embrace of space through sensors that were now as natural as his own skin. The battle that followed would be remembered as humanity's true awakening. The Void Swarm attacked with overwhelming force, their dark energy tendrils reaching for the human vessels. But the enhanced pilots responded with impossible speed and creativity, their ships moving in ways that defied conventional physics. James watched in awe as his squadron mates adapted in real time, developing new tactics on the fly. When the swarm tried to consume their ship's energy, the pilots learned to reverse the flow, drawing power from the void itself. When standard weapons proved ineffective, they improvised, using Jupiter's magnetic field as a weapon. "This is what we were made for," James broadcast to his squadron as they drove back another wave of attackers. Not just to fight, but to evolve, to find solutions where others see only defeat. Back at TDI headquarters, Maya and Kira monitored the battle with growing confidence. The Nexus had chosen well. Humanity's greatest strength wasn't just their enhanced abilities, but their innate creativity and determination. Yet victory came with revelation. As the pilots engaged directly with the Void Swarm, their enhanced minds began receiving fragments of alien thoughts. The enemy wasn't mindless, as they'd initially believed. There was purpose behind their consumption, a desperate hunger that felt disturbingly familiar. "Admiral," James reported, his voice shaken. I think they're running from something. The Void Swarm. They're consuming energy to fuel their escape." Maya shared a concerned look with Kira. Escape from what? The answer lay hidden in the genetic memories the Nexus had encoded within them, memories that were only now beginning to surface. Humanity hadn't just been chosen as warriors. They were meant to be saviors, not only for the Nexus, but perhaps for the Void Swarm itself. As the first battle drew to a close, Earth celebrated its initial victory. But in secure chambers throughout the TDI facility, leadership grappled with their expanding understanding of the conflict. The Void Swarm was a symptom of a larger crisis, one that threatened the very fabric of space-time itself. "We need to accelerate the integration program," Maya decided, watching as the enhanced squadron returned home. "If what we've learned is true, we're not just fighting for survival anymore. We're fighting for the future of all life in the galaxy, including our enemies." The awakening of humanity's potential had only been the first step. Now they faced an even greater challenge, living up to the role they'd been created to fulfill, not just as warriors, but as guardians of life itself. The New York conclave marked humanity's first official meeting with the Nexus representatives. The United Earth Council chamber, hastily modified to accommodate alien biology, buzzed with tension and possibility. Dr. Sarah Chen, now Earth's chief xenobiologist, studied their visitors with enhanced senses. The archivists, crystalline beings that seemed to shift between solid and energy states, floated serenely above their designated platforms. The Meridian, a species of cybernetic humanoids, stood with perfect stillness. Most striking were the quantum cognates, existing simultaneously in multiple probability states, a sight that would have driven pre-enhanced humans mad. Admiral Rodriguez took the center podium, her presence commanding respect from both human and alien delegates. "The integration of our forces must be accelerated," she began. "The Void Swarm's patterns have changed. They're no longer just consuming. They're searching." The archivist's crystalline forms pulsed with light patterns. Their translated response echoed through the chamber. "What we feared has come to pass. They sensed the awakening of your potential. You are now their primary target." Holographic displays materialized throughout the chamber, showing the Void Swarm's new movement patterns. They had abandoned their systematic consumption of outer system resources, instead forming into massive battle groups aimed directly at Earth. "Our analysis suggests 3 weeks until they reach the inner system defense line," a Meridian representative announced, its cybernetic eyes scanning tactical displays. "The Nexus fleet can arrive in 4. You must hold until then." Sarah stepped forward, her enhanced mind processing multiple scenarios simultaneously. "We've made discoveries about the Void Swarm's nature," she reported. They're not just consuming energy. They're storing it, building up power for something massive. The quantum cognates shifted, their probability states aligning momentarily in what Sarah recognized as extreme concern. The bridge, they said in unison, their multiple voices creating an eerie harmony. They seek to open the bridge. Understanding flooded through the enhanced human delegates as genetic memories activated, revealing ancient knowledge. The bridge, a theoretical quantum gateway between universes. The Void Swarm wasn't just running from something. They were trying to escape this reality entirely. Opening such a gateway would devastate this universe, Kira Patil added, her calculations displaying in the air around her. The energy requirements alone would consume entire star systems. Then we must stop them, Maya declared, not just for our survival, but for all reality. The integration of human and Nexus forces began immediately. Enhanced human pilots bonded with advanced alien vessels, their unique creativity combining with technologies perfected over millions of years. Training simulations ran continuously, pushing the limits of their new capabilities. But tension simmered beneath the surface of the Alliance. Some Nexus factions questioned the wisdom of giving humans access to their most advanced technologies. The Meridians, in particular, expressed concern about humanity's aggressive tendencies. You were designed as weapons, their lead representative stated during a particularly heated session. How can we be certain you won't turn these capabilities against us once the crisis is over? Sarah watched as Maya handled the confrontation with diplomatic skill that would have been impossible before their enhancement. We were designed as protectors, she corrected. The capacity for violence was necessary, but it's guided by something stronger, our drive to preserve and protect life in all its forms. The debate was cut short by emergency alerts. A Void Swarm advance force had broken through the outer system defenses, moving faster than predicted. They were headed for Mars, specifically for the beacon that had awakened humanity. The response showcased everything the Alliance could become. Enhanced human pilots, linked with Nexus ships, moved with impossible coordination. Meridian battle computers merged with human intuition, predicting and countering swarm tactics. Archivist energy matrices amplified human creativity, allowing them to reshape local space-time itself. The battle for Mars became a turning point. Human squadrons demonstrated combat techniques the Nexus had never considered, using their enhanced abilities in ways that defied conventional military doctrine. When the swarm adapted to their tactics, humans simply created new ones, their endless creativity proving to be their greatest weapon. This is why you were chosen, the Archivist Prime communicated to Maya after the victory. Not just for your potential power, but for your species' unique ability to imagine new possibilities. The Mars defense had proven the Alliance's potential, but it had also revealed the true scale of the threat they faced. The Void Swarm's advance force had carried fragments of information, images of what they fled from, glimpses of a universe being systematically unmade by something even they feared. In the aftermath, Sarah found herself in the original beacon chamber, now transformed into a joint human Nexus research facility. The pillar still hummed with energy, but its message had changed. It no longer spoke of warfare and defense. It showed visions of healing, of restoration, of bridges between realities made stable through human potential. We were wrong, she realized, sharing her insight with Maya and the Nexus leadership. We're not meant to destroy the Void Swarm. We're meant to save them, to save everyone. That's our true purpose. The revelation spread through the Alliance, reshaping their understanding of the conflict. As enhanced humans and their alien allies prepared for the coming battles, they carried a new mission, not just to prevent destruction, but to forge a path toward universal salvation. The question was whether they could convince the Void Swarm to stop running long enough to listen. The Terran Defense Initiative's Quantum Communications Center erupted with activity as the first direct contact with the Void Swarm's consciousness emerged. Dr. Sarah Chen and Admiral Rodriguez stood transfixed as the translated messages filled the holographic displays, their enhanced minds struggling to process the implications. We flee. We must flee. The messages carried emotions so profound they threatened to overwhelm even their enhanced mental barriers. The unmaking comes. Reality fractures. No choice. Must open the bridge. Maya gripped the command console, her knuckles white. "Show us," she broadcast back. "Show us what you're running from." The response came in a flood of images that staggered everyone in the chamber. They saw entire galaxies being systematically erased from existence, not just destroyed but unwritten from reality itself. The entity responsible defied comprehension, a vast cosmic force that consumed not just matter and energy, but the fundamental laws of physics themselves. The final vector, the Archivist Prime whispered, its crystalline form dimming in what Sarah recognized as profound horror. "We thought it was merely a theory, a mathematical possibility." "You knew about this." Maya turned to their alien allies, her enhanced perception catching the subtle shifts in their energy patterns that indicated guilt. "This is what you created us to fight." The quantum cognates phased into perfect alignment, their multiple states collapsing into singular focus. "We created you to save us all," they corrected. "The final vector cannot be fought. It can only be survived. Your species possesses the unique ability to adapt, to find solutions where none seem possible." Before the revelation could fully sink in, emergency alerts blared. The main Void Swarm force had begun its final approach to Earth, but something had changed in their pattern. The massive energy formations were no longer moving as a chaotic mass. They had organized into precise geometric configurations. "They're beginning the bridge protocol," Kira announced, her calculations streaming through the air. "The energy they've absorbed, they're going to try to punch a hole through to another universe, right here in the solar system." The implications were catastrophic. Such an attempt would tear apart the fabric of local spacetime, potentially taking the entire solar system with it. But the enhanced humans' understanding of the Void Swarm's desperation had changed everything. This wasn't a malevolent invasion. It was a panicked evacuation. James Chen's voice cut through the strategic chaos. "Permission to attempt contact, Admiral. Not just surface communication. Deep sync." Maya hesitated. Deep synchronization with the Void Swarm's consciousness was theoretically possible with their enhanced capabilities, but the risks were enormous. The alien thoughts could overwhelm and destroy a human mind, enhanced or not. "Permission granted," she finally decided. "But not you alone. We do this together." What followed was unprecedented in human or Nexus history. Squadron leaders across the defense grid initiated deep sync protocols, their enhanced minds reaching out to the approaching swarm. The alien consciousness surged against theirs, a tide of terror and desperation threatening to sweep them away. But human minds proved more resilient than anyone had predicted. Instead of being overwhelmed, they adapted, creating new neural pathways to process the alien thoughts. Through the connection, understanding flowed both ways. The Void Swarm experienced human concepts of hope, of finding alternatives, of facing challenges with creativity rather than fear. In return, humans glimpsed the true nature of reality through the swarm's perception, the underlying quantum fabric that connected all things. "We can help you," Sarah broadcast through the link. Her consciousness expanded beyond normal human limits, but not through destruction. "We found another way." The enhanced humans shared their discoveries, the beacon's hidden messages, the true purpose of their transformation. They weren't meant to be just warriors or survivors. They were meant to be bridges themselves, their unique consciousness capable of binding reality together in new ways. The swarm's advance slowed, then stopped. Their vast consciousness roiled with conflict, the instinct to flee warring with this new possibility of salvation. In that crucial moment, humanity faced its greatest test. The Nexus waited fearfully, watching their created weapons decide the fate of all reality. The Void Swarm hovered between panic and hope, and enhanced humans stood at the center, their transformed minds grappling with power and responsibility beyond anything their species had ever known. We were made for this moment, Maya broadcast to all human forces, not to destroy or to run, but to find a way forward, to be the solution no one else could imagine. As the solar system held its breath, humanity prepared to fulfill its true purpose, not as the galaxy's warriors, but as its healers. The real question was whether they could implement their solution before the final vector arrived to unmake them all. Earth's orbital space had become a canvas of impossible physics. Thousands of enhanced humans, their consciousness synchronized with both Nexus technology and the Void Swarm's quantum awareness, worked to reshape reality itself. The combined fleet hung in precise geometric formations, channeling energies that defied conventional science. Dr. Sarah Chen, her mind linked with both Admiral Rodriguez and the Archivist Prime, watched as the greatest experiment in universal history unfolded. Quantum harmonics stabilizing, she reported, her enhanced senses perceiving multiple layers of reality simultaneously. The bridge is forming, but not as the swarm intended. Instead of a desperate tear through spacetime, they were creating something new, a controlled network of quantum corridors linking multiple realities. It was an achievement that should have been impossible, yet human creativity combined with Void Swarm power and Nexus wisdom was making it real. Final vector detected. The Meridian sensors reported, their tone carrying genuine fear. Multiple universe boundaries collapsing. Estimated arrival: 6 hours. Maya's enhanced mind processed the tactical displays. The final vector's approach was visible now, a wave of unreality that consumed everything in its path. Where it passed, the fundamental